Hey, hope you're having a great week. It's the weekend before Valentine's Day, which falls on a Monday. A lot of you will probably be going out and celebrating either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, maybe even Monday. So I wanted to put out a makeup tutorial. In fact, two for the price of one. We're going to do a makeup look that will accompany both a pink lip and a red lip, depending on which color palette you're choosing this Valentine's Day. So it can be a little tricky, but I'm going to try to stay as neutral as I can with the eyes and the blush color, and then show you how we can swap out the lip color and custom create it just for you. The lip products are two new products that I'm using that I haven't featured before. The rest are things that you've probably seen before. That's really important to me because if I like and invest in a product and I share it with you, chances are you've tried it, bought it, and invested in it, and I want you to see that these products get used over and over again. I don't believe in waste, and so a lot of these will be very familiar, and I hope that they are. Okay, so let's push in nice and tight and get started with our Valentine's look. And away we go. All products will be listed for you in the description portion below with links to purchase if you are inclined to do so. We're going to start with a primer. First one is by Laura Mercier. Just to get the skin prepped, I already have my moisturizer on, and this is just to help my makeup sit a little bit better. To let you know, the look that I'm going for today is a matte finish. I figure since most people go out on Valentine's, the key is to have makeup that's going to last and makeup that'll do well under different lighting situations. But most importantly, and this really is what is driving the look today, a lipstick that's going to have staying power. And so lipsticks that are a little too moisturizing or a little too gooey will move as you're eating and will transfer a lot on things. And so I wanted to make sure that the makeup that we apply today is going to stay in place and you're not going to have to worry about it. And I am aware that sometimes matte products can be a little too drying. So that's why before I did the primer, I moisturized very well. You could probably see that my skin had a little bit of a sheen to it. And there are lip primers to put on before matte lipsticks. So we're going to take care of everything to make sure that we are comfortable while we're wearing a flawless look. Next on the list is my foundation by NARS. It is their matte foundation. Barcelona Medium number 4 is the color that I wear, and I just apply it on a makeup brush. I have to say it's one of my favorite matte foundations. Not drying. Coverage is amazing. I used to wear this one all the time when I anchored the news. For that reason, it was perfect coverage, didn't feel too heavy or too cakey, but man, this stuff stays put. As you know, I touch the ears just because with short hair, you don't want little white ears sticking out. I always brush just a little bit over my lip, just the very last bit. Sort of serves as a base for the lipstick as well. Next on my list is an eyeshadow primer by Anastasia, Beverly Hills. And this is going to read very, very light. It may be too light for some of you. It takes on almost a whitish appearance, which will really make the eyeshadow pop. But depending on your skin tone, sometimes you can take whatever you use as a concealer and put that on your lid, especially if it's not too creamy or too cakey or wet, and will settle. But there are so many eyeshadow primers these days that I think you can find one that's either no color or the right color for you. But I just want to warn you, this is going to read really, really white when you see it. See? It's almost like white paint. Going to blend really well. And it also is kind of cool because it serves as a little bit of a highlighter on the inner corner of the eye. Eyebrow time for that. NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in Espresso for me. My go-to favorite. I think it's the most natural looking. I always start at the bottom first for my border, and then just do these strokes upward and outward on the bottom. starting in about the middle section, these hairs pull down. So you just mimic that. It makes it look like a natural eyebrow, especially once you sort of buff it and shade it. But with a really strong lip, you've got to make sure you've got some strong brows to go with it, or else that lip will completely take away. See, right now I look like all brows, but wait till you see everything else coming together. I'm just gonna let that sit. I will smudge it later. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette, again, one that I have featured before, Urban Decay Naked Heat. I love this collection. A lot of warms, roses, plums, whatnot. I was sort of thinking about this because the blouse that I have on has pink in it, it has red in it, can go either way. I'm not going to do any shimmers. Like I said, this is all matte. So looking at this, I think what I will start with is He Devil, which is this one in the middle. And I will use that just as a general sweep, starting in the crease and then just subtly bringing it down to the lid so there's less of it there. I don't want too much eyeshadow. Again, the focal point of this look is the lip. But for me, definitely needs some warmth up there and the darker color to slightly open up the eye. So it's almost like you're doing a whole wash, right? Started in the crease, subtly pulling down to the lid, so it gets a little bit lighter in doing so. For my outer corner, I will be using this plum color right here, second to last. It's called Ashes, with a little firm brush. Starting on the lash line about a third of the way out. And just blending into the outer third, going up to the outer point of the eyebrow. Just opens up the eye, starts to bring some width out to the side. I love plums with these shades. I think they're just softer. They're not as harsh as a black would be, especially when the lip is really going to command attention. A plum, a dark plum, is a really nice way to get that depth. And it's also a color that goes with practically every eye color as well. And it really brings green eyes out. So there we go, we're building some eyes. So I'm just going to use this neutral color here to blend sauced, which I am not, right there. And that's just going to carry it up a little bit higher. Okay, and then finally, the lightest shade, the white one, Quince, will be the brow highlight. And you can see I still have a little bit of that primer in my eye here. And if you want to add just a little bit of lightness to the inner corner, just use your brow highlight color and put it right on top of the primer. Next on my list, and this is going to vary, since I do have a few eyelash extensions left, I'm just going to run this underneath my waterline. Normally I would smudge it in my top lash line, so that's what I'm going to encourage you to do at the moment. And this is a black eyeliner by Lancome, and you basically top line, so you'll come from underneath and you'll just smudge it into your lashes. I've got to be careful, I don't want to knock what I've got left loose, so they're holding on for dear life, but I'm going to top line that waterline, which will just make the lash line look a little bit thicker. You'll go in those lashes, and that'll really add some thickness to your lashes. Coming from the underside like this doesn't get in the way with the pretty eyeshadow work that we've done. If you come in from the top, you can immediately close off the eye. The next step is a liquid liner. This is by L'Oreal. It's really, really inexpensive. Liner Noir. And if you like to do a little wing, you can, completely optional. Sometimes I just like to run it right on top. You know that outer third that I did with the eyeshadow? I'll just hug that outer part of my lash line. I've got to hold them down. And just for a little bit more thickness, right here on the outside, and a little flick kind of upward and out. It's not really a wing per se, but it just gives a little bit more pop to that outer corner right there. And that's plenty good. Now this is a personal choice because the lips are going to be so blah. You can go without anything. I'm not going to do a line on the inner rim at all. Sometimes just leaving the eyeshadow up top is plenty. Some of you say my eyes are small, and if I just do eyeshadow on the top, I feel like my eyes aren't big enough and they don't stand out. Well, there's a solution to that. I'm not a fan of liner in the lower lash line because I think it draws everything down, and if you've seen my makeup facelift video, you see how too much liner on the lower lash line can really pull the eye downward. But that's not to say that you can't add a little something there to give it some definition. So what I like to do is you can take a medium tone shade that's not, you know, too deep or too thick and just sort of smudge it in the lash line. So basically the same color that we did on top, kind of a variation of it. It's a little bit more of this sort of orangey brown. And you can take something like that and just smudge it a tiny bit in your lower lash line, just if you feel you need a little extra definition there. And it's not much, but sometimes it's enough just to bring those lower lashes out. You could even use, if your eyes you feel are really small, you could use that plum color that we used on the outside and just do a very light smudge on your lash line. So that's completely up to you, but there are options. I don't believe in hard rules because we all have different features. Some of us have smaller eyes, some have bigger eyes, some need a little bit more, a little bit less. I think it's really important to find out what makes you look your best. And I find that even as we age, that changes. So, you know, sometimes it's just a process. It evolves and we just have to work and evolve with it and figure things out. But you don't know until you give it a try, right? If you apply too much, you know what? Take a Q-tip and makeup remover and just wipe it off, right? It's the worst thing that could happen. So anyway, the eye look is done for me. If you don't have lash extensions, now would be your time to do mascara. You could even do a little strip lash. You could do a magnetic lash, whatever it is that you want. But I'm going to move on now to the concealer. And for me, it's It Bye Bye Under Eye Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer. I've been using it a lot lately, especially in the winter months. And the coverage on this is just absolutely incredible. So it is recommended that you take it and that you warm it between your fingers and just pat it in. And then I will use a brush for a little bit more precision. And my color is tan. Don't know why. I don't feel very tan, but it is what it is. And you can hit any areas that might be a little bit red. Sometimes I get red under my nose just from the cooler weather, just sensitivity. So that is good. And I'm going to set the under eye area. I've done this before. I really love It Bye Bye Pores pressed powder. It's a great finishing powder, you know, if you need to touch up throughout the day. But I also think it's fantastic for setting their concealer. So I just take a brush for setting concealer and I press it in. And it immediately sets that concealer. It gets rid of any shine and it will be the perfect complement to the powder, the loose powder that I will use for the rest of my face so that we can really, really get this look mattified. Of course, Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Powder, forever and a day, same one. I love it. Take it, press it in. Don't forget to take the powder down. Chances are you put foundation on your neck. Okay, I'm going to go in with a little bit of contour. And I use my Smashbox contour palette. I use it so much, in fact, I am practically out of my contour, and the highlighter, it broke. But luckily I've got other highlighters. So anyway, just, you know, want a little cheekbone action. Why not? If you're going out at night, just do a slight contour right underneath your cheekbone. Subtle. Again, the lips are going to steal the show. And if you want to warm up around the forehead, feeling a little pasty from the winter months, you can give yourself a little bit of a tan. Contour your nose if you like to do that. Jawline is always great to really give you a nice sharp jawline. And by the way, if you're really full on the sides of your face, the trick to that is to bring that contour up, and you cheat it a little bit and you go right up here. It's really amazing what you can do with contour and highlight. Blush color is one by Laura Mercier called Chai, kind of a pretty neutral pink. And it's one of those colors that's not too cool, not too warm. So it goes well with either a warm or cool pink or a warm or a cool red. And that's really up to you depending on what looks best with your skin tone and, you know, the type of red or pink that you're wearing too. I just want the cheeks to look, you know, pretty. I don't want it to be overdone. I think this is more than enough. Okay, so we're going to do the pink lip first, and then I'm going to do the red lip right next to it. And then you can decide what look you feel fits you best. One is also a lower end, the other is a higher end as well, just so you could see the difference in how the products look and wear. On the lower end side, I love NYX, both their pencils and their matte lip products. So the pencil is NYX and the color is Soft Spoken. And it's sort of a dusty rose color. I wanted to make sure it was the kind of pink that would go with whatever pink I chose. I'm going to start off with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Primer. Provides a little conditioning as a base because, again, these are matte lipsticks. And this will be a bold pink, but you know, you want to strike that balance, right? Where it's not too crazy, but it has just enough pop. So let's go in with the liner. The lip liner that I'm going to use is Urban Decay 24/7 in Bad Blood. This sucker is red, red, red. So in we go. And now the lipstick choice. Wow, ain't she purty? It is by NYX and it's called Milan. My feeling is when applying a bright, bright lipstick, it's always wise to use a lip brush just because of the precision. Sometimes the applicators are too rounded, or if it's coming out of a tube itself, it's really hard to get precise. So you can take it and you can start in the middle area and then use your brush to really get precise on the outer line, which is what I'm going to do. And the lipstick is Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's called American Doll. Again, same technique. So there you have it with the pink look. Both of these amazing matte lipsticks, not drying and long wearing, and they both feel incredible. And now let's pull out so you can see it all in perspective with the outfit. So there's your Valentine's look with the pink lip, and there's your traditional Valentine red lip. And as you can see, the rest of the makeup goes along with it. So the key is to find some neutral colors that can sort of swing either way. But as you've seen me do on my channel before, you can in fact mix warmer colors with cool colors. Not everything has to be the same. It's just picking which is going to work best for you. If anything, I hope this tutorial showed you that you do have some options as to which way you can go. You're not limited. Some of you may prefer red lips. Some of you may shy away, think it's too much, too strong for your face, and prefer more of a pink. But the beauty is that you can go either way. Just find the shade that works for you, have it complement your outfit, and most importantly, feel bold and proud when you're out there wearing it. And let me also add, if you're alone, because not everybody is with somebody, can I encourage you to do something sweet and loving and special for yourself? Maybe send yourself a beautiful bouquet of roses, or order in a nice meal, or treat yourself to a fun romantic movie that makes you feel good and makes you laugh. Invest in and believe in yourself and how worthy and deserving you are of love. And you know what? Maybe even do this tutorial and take a real pretty picture of yourself and share it with some loved ones who you can't be with. I wish you a beautiful, fun, and safe Valentine's. Till next week. Bye.